watu wakumbie abo watu wakulizamu watu zile yake bala yenu watu yingi naba kabiri bara kolo sabu kwa after the semi-final, what are your mind? Can you take an hour again? Matumba Faruk. Yeah? Microphone check. Ngabyoke kumwogera ate nakati batuwulira. Mwagaliza nnyo ne waliwo ndaba nga tebisoboka. Break and finish live. Microphone check. Testing sound. Testing sound.
Biri kwa njala sesula biri.
Alright.
In this match, dear viewers, Lawrence donning white, Caesar donning grey are two very, very good friends, also teammates at management level. They are finding themselves facing off against each other in the tournament semi-final for the second time in the space of what, 10 days after meeting off in the semi-final of a comp that was organized in the city far east in Mbale. That comp was won by Dog City when he did defeat Caesar in the final. In his first life, Dog City had been eliminated by Lawrence anyway. Now the same Lawrence is a guy that has been, I think, in what should be his best form ever, especially in the space of the last 1 month or so. That comp in Mbale, where he finished among the top 3, actually he was 3rd. He has won 1 comp this year. It was organized in the city of Entebbe. Last year he did win. Actually, he has won 2 comps this year. It's very good form from Lawrence. He has already defeated Computer in this comp. He has already defeated Moses Somara, players of the weight of Yahya Mpindi. He could take it even further if he can win this match to take down a player whom he would be first to think is the tournament favorite, although he's not having his best form in the space of the last 6 weeks. Lawrence on the verge of winning frame number 3. 1 yellow to the corner pocket top left, another yellow to the center pocket top, black to either of the corner pockets top right or bottom right to win for Dangote, as he is nicknamed, his 4th frame out of 6. There are just some of those mistakes which are even very, very difficult to explain. How on earth did he not play the cue ball sufficient enough just to have sight of the black? Maybe he has very, very little sight of the black. Maybe it is safer to play this black off cushion. Potting it is something different altogether. Off cushions finds black. That will not do. It wasn't a bad trial, but not good enough. He will be guilty. He will feel guilty, most especially allowing himself to get snookered when he had all the black and his last yellow to himself. Caesar will not hesitate to take the opportunity, and there he comes, equalizing in the semi-final. Caesar Chandiga 3 and Lawrence Sengonge 3. And yes, the second semi-final is coming up between Joseph Kasozi and Habib Sebuguzi. That one will even be more competitive than this one. Break and Finish Live Facebook, as well as Break and Finish Live YouTube, streaming for the rest of the competition. Semi-final number 1 in the ongoing 48-man comp that is happening here at CAS Bar in Kampala. The ladies are done with their semi-finals. Rashida has defeated her elder sister Rukia, while Julie has defeated Lisa. A 3rd place match is happening between Rukia and Lisa, and then the final will be happening between Julie and Rashida. Caesar 3, Lawrence 3. It is rest to 7, dear viewers. But for Caesar, a one race for an apple. It is one of those, call it a weekly comp, that he's playing, having a lot of pressure on him. Not because of the weight of his opponent, not because he cannot be able to win, but because we have seen him lose 5 comps in a row for the first time ever since he became resident, combined in Kampala and Lusaka. He really doesn't want to make it 6. And there is a lot of action coming up, guys. Besides, for the rest of the day, there is action tomorrow. 2 money matches: Computer versus Ibra Kayanja, Caesar versus Hazard will be the main for $2,000. But before them, it will be Simon Nubula. The Computer versus Ibrahim Kayanja, racing to 15 for $600. Action will be coming live from Dice Lounge, not far from where we are. Lawrence is not far from Caesar in terms of actual scores. Actually, they are at equal par, drawing 3-all. Now, an official race to 4. I was supposed to be streaming 2 matches at the same time, but one of the players involved in the match between Habib and Kasozi, by the way, that one is a rivalry, big rivalry. One of the players did refuse to play on another table. The organizers decided to let them be. So that match shall be played separately on the same center table. Coming up live next, Habib Sebuguzi versus Joseph Kasozi, semi-final number 2. Clear foul, that one was. Caesar played red first but got to pot. Lawrence is yellow instead. Should just get the frame going. Lawrence, don't tamper with your opponent's ball, because it could hamper your pattern. He can only be vindicated if he finishes the frame off. Probably wants to play backspin, wants to put both yellows to the same corner pocket. Shot has been played well, but with a little bit too much energy. He may have to play at the top left yellow first. This is a little bit suspect in terms of decision making. You can see he's playing balls now out of position. Now he needs to pull off a bigger shot. Play the yellow ball is looking at, aiming for, has to play the cue ball off the cushion, move it towards the right end of the table on YouTube, the bottom end on Facebook, just like that. I think he's okay. But has to be careful because the cut between white and yellow is so sharp, such that the cue ball moves leftwards. Of course, he needs it leftwards, but not in the direction where the black is. Black is bottom right. He may need the cue ball bottom left, maybe just around the bottom center pocket if he can have big right spin. But first, he must spot. Seems to be off target, and off target he is. Of course, you'll still fancy him to make the clearance, but he did not perfect a very good pattern. It's a clearance. When he had the free shot, he should have perfected with ease. That was a little bit of a commentator critiquing the player. The critiqued player, Lawrence, enjoying his seat. He knows that most likely than not, he'll still have another chance. Very difficult stuff, this. I don't even know what Caesar is trying to contemplate here. Defense, very difficult. Potting that yellow ball anywhere on the table is very difficult. Maybe he's having a cut. Maybe he wants to hide white ball behind black. That one would have been very special if he had gotten the power management right to play the cue ball off to cushions, hide it behind the black, get to snooker Lawrence. At the end of the day, frame number 7 will belong to Mr. Lawrence Sengonge. He's nicknamed Dangote because he's inspired by the Nigerian millionaire Dangote. Lawrence 4 and Caesar 3. Seven. Baba Gamberes. Just in case you're only now joining the stream, dear viewers, you are watching the first semi-final of an ongoing 48-man comp here at CAS in Kampala. Lawrence Sengonge donning white is leading by 4 frames to 3 against Caesar Chandiga donning grey, racing to 7 for a place in the final to take on the win of the next semi-final coming live next between Habib and Joseph Kasoze. That one will be a bigger rivalry. This is Caesar. Maybe I can say troubled Caesar, that I don't get to say so many times. He's having a very dry spell. And sometimes that can cause a top player, for instance, to lose some of his fear factor. Player like Lawrence may look at Caesar's current form as provision of an opportunity to take down the Scorpion, though the race could be as big as 7. There we go. Whether or not it was intentional, execution of the shot was top-notch. He now has the worry of the would be very good of the 4 yellows he has on the table, the one that is packed at the corner pocket top right on Break and Finish Live YouTube. He fouls. That is very unfortunate. He had played the cue ball so well, but he was so unlucky. Intention was have the cue ball being played to the corner pocket where he was having his ball interlocked behind Caesars. Get to pot it and then get to finish the table. In the end, you may play so good, but you also need a little bit of luck. Wasn't lucky enough, and you probably will be losing this one. You get a feeling Caesar could be playing the red into black purpose to have the black in space, off cushion into black, and plays as well Lawrence's red. Plays another red off cushion. Against the cushion, but I think she'll be okay. He needs to have a full stretch of the body here. Oh, he can also be. He does have the ability to use the left. I didn't know so much about that. Not so many players can play a shot that small, that good, using the left hand when they are naturally right-handers. Caesar has to do, however, the only red left on the table is portable by sharp cut to the corner pocket top. Cue ball may have to bounce off 2 or 3 cushions at the left end of the table, off 1 cushion with very little power and too much precision. That is neat and swift and clean. The Scorpion is winning frame number 8 as his equalizer in the semi-final. Caesar 4 and Lawrence 4. Stand by Habibu ne Kasozi be baddako. Sanso kula wafadi ipressable. Manager wa Ian ne Yahaya. Manager wa Ian ne Yahaya siego. Yako isi ya mtegesi. Fadi. Mtegesi ya kumidesi. Mtegesi.
4, rest 7. Okay? The master is 4, rest 7. 40. Yeah? Okay. Right. Before we have one question from the your case is equally.
Thank you. Dear viewers, it's now 5 frames to 4. Lawrence needing to win 2, Caesar needing to win 3 out of the next 4. If he doesn't do so, he exits a 6th competition in a row without winning, and his dry spell will continue unless he wins 3 before Lawrence can win 2. And in the meantime, previous frame was won by Lawrence. You may have seen it as some kind of bizarre way. There was a round of applause. It was to Caesar, and it was Lawrence winning, especially after Caesar fouled somehow and reported himself to the opponent, and yet nobody realized. It's the definition of sportsmanship. Those winners, because for most people they have not been seeing too much of Mansour. Seeing him for the first time in a long while this day and last Saturday playing that well, they feel that he is a winner as well. Now Caesar has just spotted a little too critically, but he has a very bad looking Reds frame. Almost impossible in a normal shot to put any of the 5 reds left on the table. Maybe play a red right behind the yellow in some kind of safety, most especially those 2 reds touching each other. If you tap to them well enough, but the shot has to be defensive. He doesn't have to give away too much. I'm not certain it's a shot played well enough. The yellow in between red and black, which is the would-be bad of the 4 Lawrence is having on table. He now has sight of it. If it is full sight, he could have a chance of putting it to the center pocket, and it will give him instead a chance to make the clearance, take a 6th, need to win 1 out of 3. That was so unfortunate for Lawrence. Perhaps his intention was to play bank, play stop effect on the cue ball. Instead, the red was played off the cushion, then played into the cue ball, which got sunk to the opposite center pocket. Now making it a foul and an opportunity for Caesar to win frame number 10, which will be an equalizer for himself. On Saturday, coming to 2 weeks ago, it was actually Sunday that to comp these 2 faced off in the semi-finals. That one was won by Caesar, racing to 6. It ended 6-3. He's now on the verge of winning frame number 10. I just do believe so, especially given the position of the Reds. Playing 1, potting it, playing the cue ball into a yellow, giving him natural white for the 2 Reds, which are at the bottom end of the table if you're watching on Break and Finish Live Facebook, which is the right end if you're watching on Break and Finish Live YouTube. Should be a frame done and dusted. Red to the corner pocket, red to the center pocket bottom, and black to the corner pocket bottom right on YouTube, which is bottom of the screen on Facebook. For Caesar to record his equalizing frame, he has been coming from behind almost throughout the frame. Lawrence is giving him a very bloody nose, but at least Caesar is showing that he is equal to the fight. Lawrence 5 and Caesar 5 and the rest to 7. Here we are, dear viewers. With now the match poised at 5-all, and with both players having suffered too little between themselves. So far, what has been a match of moments, with each of the players almost utilizing their moments relatively well. Maybe the moment of the match is not the moment where a ball was spotted, a black or a cue ball or anything, but a moment where one of the players reported themselves to the opponent after fouling, and yet nobody had realized. Now that player is on the verge of winning a sixth, which if he does will be the second time in the match that he'll be taking the lead. You think that this frame is as good as gone, and if you took a screenshot a minute ago and then take another screenshot now, you wonder where and how the yellows have disappeared. But yes, they have. Yes, Caesar is on the verge of winning an 11th. Yes, he's on the verge of taking the lead. Yes, he's on the verge of needing to win 1 out of 2 to make a second final out of the last 3 tournaments he has been participating in, including this one. Black to the center pocket gives the Scorpion a 6th frame in the first semi-final. There we are, Caesar 6 and Lawrence 5. Please keep me company for Kasozi versus Habib. That one is coming live next as well. And yes, as well, double live streaming on Break and Finish Live Facebook, as well as Peter Chobe Live YouTube. Coming up next, semi-final number 2. This is Lawrence breaking for the last time in the match. If there is another break, it will be in the deciding frame, and it will be his opponent to break if it comes to that. However, the break has, I think, been good enough. The yellows definitely looking better, positioned better, and yet 2 of them have been potted on the break. He will clearly be going for yellows and will want to finish the frame by Break and Finish live on Break and Finish. The table is closed. Lawrence is on the yellows. 5 of them, they are on table. He actually put it 1 on the break, not 2. Sorry for that misinformation a while ago. A very critical shot, and Lawrence has played it critically. The next one, he may need to roll. He may play a shot with the same exact skill. Again, backspin. Again, bounce the cue ball off the top cushion. Again, have it into space to put Black to the corner pocket. Does he have full sight of the Black? By his body language, maybe not. Maybe backspin lacked some power. Maybe he should have played it with more energy, have a big bounce of the cue ball off the cushion, and then have it back in space. He's nodding his head in disbelief at a moment of misfortune. He may have some sight of the Black, but I'm not so certain it is sight enough to have it sunk. If he's so ambitious, he could even play red first. He has to be careful. He will try. Finds the Black and sinks it in. At the end of the day, maybe it had some skill. Maybe he was having full sight. Yes, the frame is won by Lawrence by an apple. Yes, we are having a decider in the first semi-final. Racing to 7, Lawrence 6 and Caesar 6. We have a decider.
Okay, and now we have the final
In this first semi-final, we have one more frame. The lag before the start of play was won by Caesar. The major benefit for winning the lag is not only does the lag winning player break the first frame, they also break the very last if it happens to be a decider. And yes, it is a decider. Lawrence has probably prepared his gadgets, prepared his body, probably has said a prayer for one more time to try and make the final. He will be hoping that Caesar doesn't get his back right. Caesar aims for the second ball, the red, and hits it hard. And gets to make a ball and another and leaves an open table. The split of the balls is relatively okay. Maybe he will be having in mind the red that is so close to yellow, also so close to white, as a problem red. If he's to go for the reds, he at one time will want to use the cue ball perhaps to play it open. Maybe in this next shot, play to split the red open as well as close the table. He fails to pot, leaves an open table. Advantage, Lawrence. Decider between Caesar and Lawrence. Also coming live next is Habib versus Kasozi. The table is open. Lawrence deciding to go for the yellows and closes the table, playing the yellows. He seems to have his mind made up. if you look at his body language, to try and go for the frame, try and take it down. There's still one problem yellow, so close to red, near the position where he's standing now. In the end, he's deciding that patience can be painful, but yes, it can be painful. Decides to play patience and safe. It's the second time in the competition that Caesar is being subjected to playing a decider. If he gets to the final, it will be the hardest final he will have reached to in the last so many tournaments. Most of the times when he has been reaching finals, he has been finding it a little bit easy. Some of the matches winning them a little bit casually, but he's finding it from his fellow opponents that it is not business as usual. And amongst them, the very latest is Lawrence. Not easy making a decision, even more difficult putting a decision into practice now, especially with Caesar now knowing that Lawrence has 4 well-positioned yellows, only 1 positioned tricky. And Caesar is making misses left, right, and center. Lawrence getting opportunities right, left, and center. Thank you, Africa. We now hit the 2,000 mark watching this match live. For making myself relevant to your life as a pool fan, I cannot thank you enough. But now it is players hopping on hope. All of them mostly having in mind the situation at the corner pocket top left, if you're watching on YouTube, where there is both a yellow and a red almost touching each other. None of those 2 balls in a normal shot is potable. Some tempting shot for Caesar to play the cue ball into that red. It will be a very, very big temptation, even when he dared. Because at the right end of the table are 4 of Lawrence's yellows, all positioned well, and yet there are 2 dead reds of Caesar. The one that is so close to the black and the one that is packed right behind the yellow, also so close to the cushion. It is tough, ladies and gentlemen, tough for Caesar. Tough for Lawrence, tough for fans at the venue, tough for fans online. Caesar goes defensive. He may pot, he doesn't pot, but it's perhaps for all the shots he has played in this decider so far, maybe the most effective, because now it renders one of Lawrence's yellows almost dead, the one that is topwards of them all. And I'm saying you exclude the one that is so close to the red. I'm speaking to the 4. Still hide and seek game. A decider that is being played 90% in the mind, only at most 10% in the hands. Semi-final number 1. For Caesar, it is pride at stake. You don't want to be a player at Caesar's level, and then you start losing all these matches, these semi-finals, these quarterfinals, these finals, to the same players that you've been tormenting for so many years. So one of those moments where the organizers could come in here, By the rules, when players play so many consecutive times without intention to pot, as long as there is seemingly no progression in the frame, the officials can warn them, in which case if they don't change their playing style to play with the intention to pot, the frame can be called out as a stalemate. That was clinical, although he didn't pot. Lawrence used a sharp cut. Maybe Kibble was even played off the spin, and yet he played not to pot. One of the very good ways to play, with too much skill, and yet you are playing not to pot. As Caesar responds with another safety for himself. Here we go. They will be having in mind a yellow touching red at the top left corner pocket, as a pocket that is determining their pattern. That is for both of the players, and for as much as possible, each one of them will want to have their own color of balls, the ones that are rightwards on the table, positioned as good as they can, such that just in case, if an opportunity comes with the dead red stroke yellow at the corner pocket top left splits open, they will have a very good opportunity to go for the frame. 6-6 between Lawrence and Caesar. Players both under the same management team, the ATA. I don't even know who of the two the boss will be supporting. Pretty much a family affair, but how each one of them is so interested in the victory. At this level, the stalemate is likely not to come into play, because most especially for Lawrence, although it has been so many consecutive turns between himself and Caesar playing not to pot, there is progress for him, moving balls close to the pocket, and now he has become the beneficiary of a free shot after a scratch by Caesar. If he utilizes the situation well, he could make yet another final. Of course, for a free shot, you get a feeling he'll be playing the dead yellow, the one where his hands are packed at the corner pocket top left on YouTube. But that will leave another tricky situation, considering the three yellows at the bottom right end of the table. He's playing the red for a free shot, playing it away from the yellow, playing it by connection to the corner pocket top right. There we are. His intention was to leave as many as Caesar's reds as possible out of position. Still, there is a situation where there is a big pile up of reds and yellows, two apiece, near the corner pocket bottom right. However, of these two players will be manipulating that situation as they play it into their favor, will most likely be winning the frame. Here is Lawrence's turn. He should be playing one yellow into another. Has to be careful. He has played another yellow again, so close to the black, and Caesar may again play the red, maybe in between the two yellows piled up against each other. Maybe play the red as close can be to the yellows, simply to make it difficult for Lawrence to finish the frame with ease. And I think he has gotten exactly what he did intend. For the tactical game, Lawrence seemingly has the ability to match Caesar pound for pound. Caesar does play another of his reds at the right end of the table. The frame is becoming even more complicated. There have been some balls spotted in the last 1-2 minutes. The stalemate thing by the rules now dies out because yes, there was intention to pot. Not just the yellow that was spotted by Lawrence, but also the cue ball by Caesar. And I'm not saying that it's supposed to be potted to make the rules clear. There was actually a free shot which Lawrence did not utilize very well. He will most likely be playing the yellow closest to the cue ball, play it with very little power in between, have it in between the reds. He will want it not to pot his own yellow, which is packed. If he does, he may be playing himself in trouble. That's why he will have a very small tap of the cue ball against the yellow. Very little. Just like that. He's getting close again. You can help me time, most especially those that are watching this stream on YouTube, as in how long this frame has taken so far. How many times do you see Caesar playing a frame for 10 minutes? Maybe plus. And it's not yet done. Maybe it's not yet even about to be done. I can now prove that the frame has so far been played for 30 minutes. And I don't know how much more. Everybody standing on their tiptoes. Those supporting Lawrence, those supporting Caesar, all alike. If what these guys are doing continues, I think the officials will get in, because it has been yet another series of consecutive shots from each of the players playing without intention to pot. One of them has to take the risk. It can't go on like this forever. Of course it won't. Lawrence may play yellow into black to free both yellow and black. Maybe he has it in mind that an opportunity is just about to come looming. Caesar now playing red off cushion and into the yellow to play one yellow a little bit away. As a response, you just get a feeling yellow Lawrence will simply be tapping the cue ball against another yellow with no intention yet again to pot. Caesar will probably be waiting for an opportunity in which he can play some kind of combination shot. If he can pot one red, play the cue ball into those balls piled up, hopefully pot Lawrence's yellow, and Lawrence is perhaps avoiding leaving the cue ball, that is if he doesn't pot, in a position where Caesar can play that kind of combination shot with any kind of ease. That is the mental game happening on center table here at CAS Bar in Kansanga, Kampala. Here comes Lawrence. He gets to pot. I'm not so certain he intended to. Maybe he has made up his mind that at the end of the day, enough is enough. Ladies and gentlemen, Lawrence has had enough of this. He wants to go for the frame to take down Caesar once and for all. This shot will be very determinant. How determinant? Maybe not determinant enough. And for someone that has been having the positioning of the balls in his favor for long, the fact that his yellows are played a little bit out of position could drain down all of his confidence. He must make the next shot count. Pot a yellow and manipulate the cue ball well enough to pot another. Maybe the yellow that is closer to the cue ball, potable by backspinner and with power to the corner pocket top left. The cue ball remains at the bottom end of the table to pot the second yellow to the center pocket top. It's the shot that he must play and must play it to perfection. If he doesn't, more likely than not, he will be losing the frame in Caesar's next visit of the table. And for those of you watching Break and Finish Live Facebook, Break and Finish Live YouTube, close to 2,300 watching live combined. You are watching Lawrence's moment of the match, whether in the positive or in the negative, where he must pot to the corner pocket top left and manipulate the cue ball towards the bottom end of the table with precision and calmness. There he goes, imperfect. And how Caesar is jumping onto the table to take what look like easy pickings of Lawrence's failures in one of the hardest fought frames that I've ever seen Caesar play. I have seen him play in dozens and dozens and dozens of matches. I don't remember him play a frame for 15, 16, 17, 18 minutes. That is what Lawrence has exactly subjected him in this decider. And maybe it is the Scorpion instead getting the last dance. Clearly making it into the final now. How patience is just about to pay off for the Scorpion. It was a frame heavily poised in favor of Lawrence. Caesar kept patient and patient and patient, simply wanting to give away almost nothing until Lawrence got something but didn't utilize the opportunity enough. The Scorpion will want to put red and black to the center pocket as well as the corresponding center pocket, maybe corner pocket bottom left on YouTube. There he does. And that is a very worthy round of applause from the Scorpion fans at the venue. What a match, but most importantly, what a frame. Many deciders in Uganda are played at that kind of level. It was a game of chess more than a frame of pool. Final score, Caesar 7 and Lawrence 6. The Scorpion into the final. There comes Habib and Kasozi. That match is coming live to determine who will be taking on Caesar in the final.